For this next lesson, we're going to be looking at the chords G, E minor, and C. Okay, these ones are a little bit more trickier than the previous three that we looked at, which was A, E, and D. So if you're still learning how to play those three chords, I would say go back and learn those first before trying to add in another three chords. It's always better to just stick with a few of them and get really good at that before trying to overwhelm yourself with a whole bunch of other chords. So the first one we're looking at is G major. You're going to start with your first finger on the second fret of the A string. So skip the top string, go down to the next one. Now your second finger is going to go on the third fret, like that. And then at the bottom, you're going to place your third finger on the B string and your pinky finger on the E string. So those are the very last two strings at the bottom there. For this chord, you can strum all 6 strings. So if you're strumming from the top, just bring that pick all the way down to the bottom. So that is G major. Just like in the previous lesson, we're going to look at a couple of shortcuts or movements to help you remember where to place your fingers. So what we're going to do is, I want you to leave your first finger where it is, lift off your pinky, third finger, and second finger, and then just place your second finger underneath where your first finger is, like that. And that's your E minor chord. For this chord, you can also play all 6 strings, so strumming from the top all the way to the bottom. So I'll show you one more time going from G. Okay, so there's our G major chord. Leave your first finger where it is and take off the other 3. Now your first finger is kind of like your starting position. You just place your second finger underneath it on the D string, and that's E minor. If I want to change from E minor back to G, leave your first finger where it is, that's this one here. Lift off the second finger and place it up the top on the third fret, and then with the last 2 fingers place them at the bottom, which is also on the third fret. And there you have it. And there's your E minor. Now if we're learning the next chord, which is C major, this one is a little bit trickier. This time we're going to make our second finger our starting position. So lift off your first finger and place that all the way down the bottom on the B string, not quite the bottom, sorry, just one above, on the B string on the first fret. Notice how your second finger is still in that same place from when your E minor was. And now place your third finger on the third fret on the A string. For this chord, when we strum, we're going to skip the top string and only play the bottom 5. So that's your C major chord. I'll show you one more time going from E minor. So there's my E minor chord. Leaving my second finger where it is, moving my first finger down to the B string on the first fret, and then adding my third finger to the third fret of the A string. Now I can switch back to E minor, leave that second finger where it is, bring this first finger up, and then remove the third finger. And there's your E minor chord. If I want to go from this back to G, I'm going to leave this finger where it is, lift off the second finger, place it up the top, and then these 2 down the bottom. Just like I mentioned in the previous video, you don't always have to use these little shortcuts where you leave this first finger or your starting position where it is. You can actually lift your fingers off the strings and then change to the next chord, just like that. But what you don't want to do is move your hands far away from the fret, like this. I often see a lot of people doing this. So the further away you move your fingers, the more work you have to do for yourself. You're just making the distance between that finger and its starting position further away. So try and keep them close together so that you don't have to travel so very far. Okay, so when practicing these chords, try strumming them 8 times each. Switch to the next chord. And then the next one. And then backwards. And then just keep repeating that until you feel really confident switching between the chords.